Hey everyone, welcome back to The Dish. Happy First Friday. Joining me on set is Sarah Reese. She's the director of the Cyber Workforce Academy. I'm so thankful that you made time to come and hang out with me and talk about this important subject, because if you're just tuning in, we just finished talking about how it's summertime. Kids are having more time to be on their phones and devices, their smart devices, and they could find themselves getting into trouble if they're not careful. And so we went over a little advice and maybe some things to watch out for, things to be aware of, certain apps. But I want to kind of dive into apps. Specifically, what apps should parents really be aware of? I know there's thousands, right?
There are.
Can't cover all of them.
There are. I think some of them are very well known, like Snapchat.
Yes.
A lot of adults actually use that. But that can be problematic for kids. It actually, it kind of promotes, we've seen it promotes with teenagers sexting because they think, well, it disappeared, so there's no consequence to it. So that's extremely dangerous. But again, we all know about Snapchat. Another one that's out there a lot that we've seen problems with is Kik. It's K-I-K.
Okay.
And it's actually a Canadian-owned company, but it tends to be a place where a lot of child predators operate.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that when we're looking at those, it's a messaging app, you know, and it was never intended to be that way, but it's a place where a lot of child predators end up operating and trying to, you know, talk kids into meeting them. And that's another thing, is any of those apps that have location capability on them, you want to be careful, because kids, you know, if it's just their friend and, well, you know, I want my friend to know where I am, or I want my boyfriend to know where I am, that's one thing. But then if they friend anyone that they don't know personally, now that person can see where they are. And so that's problematic.
God, and it's so sick, but it is so real that there are child predators out there. And I think this is one of their prime times. It's summertime.
Absolutely.
You know, kids are going to spend more time on their devices. And so I think that this is important to talk about with your children and keep that open dialogue. It's better to be safe than sorry, and to protect your child out of love for them, even if they fight you on it. Because I think that you can save lives that way. You can save children from experiencing things that are going to be you know, detrimental and traumatizing maybe for the rest of their life. And so I think it is important that we have these conversations, that parents have these conversations. What are some red flags that parents should be looking for?
Well, so, you know, Anna, it's not just devices. This can happen online with gaming. For example, you know, we can't think that boys are immune to child predation, right? Boys that are playing online games where they put on their headsets and they communicate to other folks, and they get into groups to do missions, that can be a prime place for predators. So we should talk to our kids and make sure that they know anytime someone that you don't know in real life, in person, is asking questions about where you live, wanting to meet up, or trying to accelerate a relationship. Really, you know, and the worst part is sometimes they do that by sharing interests, right? Really gaining the trust. But again, if it's not someone you know in real life, kids should understand that's no different than a stranger in the street coming up to you and starting to ask you questions.
Absolutely. So. Well, Sarah, again, thank you so much for breaking this down for us. Again, this is an important conversation to have. Now, especially with how we use technology, we always use it. We use it for everything. And so what are some things that you guys are doing in the future? I know that you put on education workshops. Is there anything coming up that people should know about?
We do a lot of professional training for folks in the industry, but like for this summer, for example, we're having a lot of field trips for summer camps. So a lot of summer camps are bringing their kids, you know, they didn't get a chance during the school year. So the kids are coming in, and we always talk about careers and things like that, but we always talk about safety online with these kids, because they can't hear it enough, quite honestly.
Exactly. And if you haven't been by there, it is a neat place to go and visit. Listen, but you guys don't go anywhere, because when we come back, Sarah's still going to be on set. We're going to be talking about what's happening in the community. We'll be right back.